Don't get me wrong, I say this every single year. I love modern Call of Duty. I really do. But as an OG, has been playing the series since Finest Hour, has kept up with the games year after year, hit Prestige Master, gotten all the camos in all the games, absolutely loves this franchise, always have, always will. More and more, the more crazy the movement gets, look, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I miss Modern Warfare 2 2022. I really do. I loved that game. You want to know why? It's the closest we've had in a while to feeling like classic Call of Duty. Now, granted, in terms of like the speed of the movement, no, classic Call of Duty was still a lot faster. Modern Warfare 2 and like Modern Warfare 19, they were pretty slow. I mean, sure, in MW19 you had the slide cancel mechanics that sped up the gameplay a bit, whereas in MW2 there really wasn't any of that. It was just very slow movement. So yeah, you know, older COD was still a bit faster than that, but not by a great margin. I miss the movement of like MW3 2011, Black Ops 2 2012, and you know, even something, I feel like a happy middle ground is Cold War. Cold War had the perfect movement in my opinion. There was no tac sprinting because I'm sorry, bro, but like my poor, not only the thumb sticks, but like my thumb itself, after a while, right? After like a 12-hour grinding session of COD, usually, like, you know, I've been playing the game on PS5 lately, so it's not as bad, but when I play the game on like Xbox specifically, oh my goodness, just because their clicks, or their sticks take a bit more to click down in terms of pure like thumb effort, it genuinely gives me a thumb ache after grinding for so long. Now, granted, you might be like, okay, why are you playing for that many hours? And I mean, that's fair, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it's my life, it's my choice. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. On PS5, you know, it's pretty easy. I don't gotta worry about any of that, but over at Xbox, man, like, I can play for a while, no problem, but after a while, it's like, all right, man, I'm jamming in this Xbox stick. So between that and just like the feel of the movement and the fact that there was only slides, sure, you kind of had like the slide cancel and where it was like the jump slide cancel thing they kind of did. I liked that movement in Cold War. It was a nice bridge between old school movement, new school movement. It still felt refined. It still felt modern. It felt really good and clean and just, you kind of felt like you were just like skating around the environment. You know what I mean? Like the movement still had weight. Like, you know, the screen was shaking. It felt really good, but it was kind of like, you know, that peaceful old school COD flow. I really miss that. And again, don't get me wrong. Loving the newer games. I also feel like MW3's movement was great as well. MW3 2023 and Vanguard are two games where I can point at it and say, for the most part, in most lobbies, it felt really good, really balanced in terms of the movement. And then you had those few instances where if you ran into a PC sweat, it was, or, you know, like whatever, not even just a PC sweat, just a sweat in general with their crazy sensitivities of movement. Then it got to be like, okay, buddy, like, sure, whatever, taking it so serious. But in Black Ops 6, it's weird. It's this weird relationship I have with the movement where I love and adore Omni-Movement. Being able to run in all directions, being able to slide, dive, do all this crazy stuff in all these directions. It's really great when you want to get competitive too. Like say if you're holding down an objective, like I remember this one time on like Skyline, for example, there was like the hard point was like switching or something like that and the enemy was coming through. You know, like how there's the balcony that everybody sits up on the snipers, not the one inside of the building, but the one that's outside. Well, that staircase right there that leads to that balcony, I remember there was like a bunch of enemies coming through and I got this lucky kill with the Jackal PDW where I ran, dove over the side of the railing, spun around 360 and beamed everybody in the head by the time I hit the ground. Like you couldn't do something like that in old school COD and I felt like such a badass. So on one hand, I absolutely love and adore the movement in Black Ops 6 and I wouldn't have it any other way. I really do love the movement in the game, especially when you're playing like campaign or zombies. Ooh boy. But it's those instances in Warzone and multiplayer where granted, it is because I'm just simply in a higher skill bracket, I won't lie, there's a lot of times where I tend to just sweat my butt off and go crazy, but I'm not even like utilizing all that crazy movement. I'm just good at the game. I have good aim. And I've said before how Demon Movement King really doesn't work because as long as you have good aim, you're able to just, I mean, it's not that hard, you just aim and shoot. But the thing is, even though the movement really doesn't work or whatever, it's still annoying having to run into it all the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I miss more and more just finding somebody, aiming for center mass or for the head, just shooting. But instead, now I'm constantly having to spin around, account for them sliding and 360ing and jumping and getting their stupid TikTok clips. It's like, what is the, like, I love, it's just, you know, it's the weird thing of where I love the movement, but I just hate how all these cringe sweat lord 12-year-olds are abusing it, man. And it really does just kind of make me miss when things are a bit more simple, even if I love the mechanics at their base value, if that makes sense. Because again, I've proven it time and time again on this channel. You can literally just go through and watch my videos. There's plenty of times where I'm going up against Demon Movement Kings and I just All I gotta do is aim at him and shoot him. I've won so many gunfights against people like that. So it's not even necessarily a skill issue of me complaining and just being like, oh man, I'm sick to dying of these guys, because it's not even that. It's just I'm sick of fighting these guys and just having to watch this movement take place in the first place. It's like, bro, just aim and shoot at me. Does that make sense? I know I'm probably gonna get flamed for saying that I miss MW2 2022, but I really did love that Call of Duty game. Like, it was a really, I don't care what anybody in the community says. I know there's like, whatever, but in terms of like campaign, multiplayer, the side modes, like Spec Ops, and you know, all the other stuff in that year of Warzone, I really enjoyed Modern Warfare 2. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the more tactical feel to the movement. It was just, it was a great game. I loved it and still do. And I mean, I haven't played it in a while, obviously, because Black Ops 6 has been out for a while, but you know, once I hit like level 1000, you know, over here, and I get in that mood to go back and revisit older COD games, I cannot wait to go back and play MW2, man.